The doctor conducted a thorough examination of Nadia and determined that she was ready to be discharged. Nadia was overjoyed, since she had anticipated going home only the following day. However, her doctor, Pavel Yurievich, assured her that she would recover faster at home. Nadia decided not to inform her husband, Sergei, who was currently at work. She figured she could easily take the bus on her own, as her bag wasn't heavy, and surprise her husband instead. Imagining his reaction when he came home to find his beloved wife and a delicious dinner waiting for him, Nadia couldn't help but feel excited. Besides, Sergei had also mentioned that he had a surprise for her, so it seemed fair. Nadia couldn't wait to see how happy they would both be, as they had missed each other terribly. Nadia and Sergei had only been married for 6 months. They had first met as witnesses at the wedding of mutual friends. Coincidentally, the bride and groom had a major argument during the wedding. The bride's ex-boyfriend showed up and attempted to win her back, causing jealousy and tension between the couple. Nadia and Sergei spent an hour mediating and successfully reconciling the two. Eventually, the newlyweds kissed amid cheers and their witnesses. Nadia and Sergei left the cafe feeling relieved and laughing at how unnecessary their initial worries had been. It was a testament to their love that they had been able to save the day. 3 months later, Nadia and Sergei decided to formalize their relationship by registering their marriage. However, they hadn't yet found a place to call their own and were currently renting a small one-room apartment. Despite the living situation, they created a warm and friendly environment. Both eagerly returned home after work, cooking and cleaning together, and spending their evenings wrapped in a blanket on the sofa, engaging in heartfelt conversations. Nadia believed they loved every aspect of each other, even their imperfections. When she arrived home, she hastily removed her coat only to hear voices resonating from the bathroom. Nadia's heart raced with fear as she cautiously approached the door. The sound of a woman's voice filled the air, speaking with a tender and blissful tone. "Honey, you're a miracle," she expressed lovingly. "I adore you, my cupcake." A soft and satisfied male voice accompanied the woman's words, along with the faint sounds of sighs and kisses. Nadia stood frozen in shock, horrified by the endearment she had just heard. She couldn't believe that Sergei, her partner, would bring a stranger into their home to engage in such intimate moments. Her breathing became heavy as she stealthily moved away from the door, desperate to escape their awareness of her presence so close by. In search of solace, Nadia glanced around the room and noticed a stack of clothing piled on the sofa, topped with a red woman's coat. Thoughts raced through her mind. She envisioned that this other woman would sweep Sergei away, leaving her heartbroken. Overwhelmed by emotions, tears welled up in Nadia's eyes, propelling her to flee from the apartment. Ignoring the chilling March weather and her lack of a coat, she dashed down 3 flights of stairs and burst out onto the street. Lost in her own thoughts, Nadia walked aimlessly, absent-mindedly wiping away her tears. Unbeknownst to her, a stranger had taken notice of her distress and approached her with empathy. Suddenly, she snapped out of her daze as she felt something warm being draped over her shoulders. Looking up in surprise, she locked eyes with an unfamiliar guy, carefully pulling the edges of his jacket down to cover her chest. "Have you been ill for a long time?" he inquired, his tone tinged with reproach. "Just today," Nadia mumbled, her voice barely audible, from the hospital. And the boy cautiously asked, casting a sidelong glance at her, "Not from the asylum, I hope?" "No," Nadia shook her head. "I had my appendix out." And she already wanted to go back, now with Angina, he remarked. "No, I don't. It's just that I came home, and there they were in the bathroom," Nadia explained, unable to contain her emotions any longer, and started sobbing. 15 minutes later, a new acquaintance named Victor was comforting Nadia in his small yet tidy kitchen. He poured her a mug of hot coffee and listened attentively as she shared her ordeal. "Nadia, I really need to leave. If I don't show up at work soon, I'll be fired, and I really need the money. I left my parents because it doesn't matter. You stay here. Please don't go anywhere. There's food in the fridge, coffee on the table. Just don't do anything stupid. I'll come back in about 4 hours and we'll figure out what you're gonna do next. Okay, Victor reassured her. Nadia nodded, feeling at a loss for what to do next. She decided to trust Victor completely as he left. Absent-mindedly sipping her coffee, she glanced around Victor's apartment, trying to distract herself from her troubled thoughts. Just then, the phone rang. Startled, Nadia tossed the phone onto the sofa. The sound of music filled the room, but she couldn't bring herself to answer it. Why aren't you answering? A woman's voice suddenly spoke from behind her. Nadia turned around abruptly, her eyes meeting those of a pretty girl standing calmly in the doorway. Who are you? I'm Nadia. What brings you here, Nadia? I'm waiting for Victor. The girl circled around Nadia, smirking and shrugging her shoulders. Victor is my boyfriend, and he's always been honest. I haven't seen him go left yet. Your outfit doesn't seem like you're trying to seduce him, and your eyes look teary. So I'm curious. Tell me, what happened? He brought you home for a reason, didn't he? Nadia sniffled and decided to confide in this unfamiliar but kind-eyed girl. It's a complicated situation, and he's not really communicating with me, Nadia replied. Well, let's do this then, Vika suggested. Since you don't have any clothes, I'll go investigate to see whether it's as unfortunate as you say. Vika quickly got dressed and soon found herself standing in front of Nadia's apartment. The door opened to reveal a tall girl wearing a short, makeshift robe that barely covered her backside. Vika couldn't help but chuckle and glance around. Did you finally manage to run over Sergei? She teased. The girl blushed, angered by the insolence, and shouted, You insolent little brat. I'll show you. She reached out to grab Vika's jacket. Vika swiftly assessed the situation and darted outside, relieved that the girl wasn't as fast as she could have been. Vika returned to Victor's apartment, slightly out of breath and feeling discouraged. Nadia let out a sad sigh, while Vika remained embarrassingly silent. Just then, Vidya walked in. After hearing everything from the girls, he offered to personally speak to Sergei. Vidya dialed the number Nadia had given him on his phone and put it on speaker, patiently waiting for a response. Sergei, your wife is here at my place. She witnessed something and doesn't want to talk to you, but she's without clothes, Vidya explained. If you're a decent man, gather her belongings and bring them here. There was a moment of silence before a voice on the other end of the line questioned, Is this some kind of joke? Vidya maintained his seriousness and replied, No, it's not a joke. Your wife is truly here. Take it seriously. The voice on the phone paused for a moment before saying, Actually, my wife is in the hospital. I'm sorry, but I don't have time to chat. I have movers delivering furniture to our new apartment. Nadia overheard the mention of the new apartment and couldn't bear it any longer. What new apartment, Sergei? She demanded. Realizing that Nadia was truly present, Sergei's tone changed. Oh, so you're really there? Nadia, I've been working on our new apartment as a surprise for you. And here you are, sitting naked at another man's place. Thankfully, Viva came to Nadia's defense, preventing a prolonged explanation from being necessary. It turned out that while Nadia was in the hospital, Sergei had managed to rent a high-priced apartment with hopes of surprising his wife. He even purchased some furniture for the place. However, they were unfortunate to find out that another couple, Galia and Sergei, had also rented the same apartment. Surprisingly, Galia turned out to be an exceptional cook, which greatly endeared her to Sergei. When Nadia returned to retrieve her coat, she explained the situation to Galia, who easily forgave her and invited everyone over for a delicious meal of stuffed cabbage. Galia even helped Vika, another character in the story, make amends with Victor's parents. Initially, they disapproved of Vika due to her being 3 years older than Victor. However, with Galia's guidance, Vika prepared a stunning cake and together with Victor, they brought it to his parents. The cake impressed them so much that they decided to overlook the age difference and prioritize their child's happiness. This unexpected turn of events brought these three couples together, forming a deep and lasting friendship that would endure for the rest of their lives.